Hi guys, welcome back to Guru Beauty. I'm Jodie and wanted to introduce you to a few new products from Bourjois. These are for the face and they are from a range called the Happy Light range. I do really enjoy Bourjois face products. I will have to do a video with an overview of all the different foundations that they do offer, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to introduce you to the Happy Light range, which is available now in Priceline stores. I'll include prices down below. The products that I am using today include their two serum primers. Now, they have a matte serum primer, which they say mattifies the complexion in any light, gives you an airbrush action that minimizes pores. They say it's ideal for normal to combination skin. And I'm also using the Happy Light Luminous Serum Primer. The Luminous Serum Primer, they say, illuminates the complexion and gives you hydration. They say that this one has a smoothing action to give you refined skin. And they say that this is ideal for normal to dry skin. I will include a full list of ingredients down below in the description bar. They do come in glass bottles that contain 15 mils of product. Really handy, nice action pump on each of those, so very easy to dispense. And today what I'm doing is putting the Luminous Serum Primer all over my face except for my nose, using the matte primer on my nose area. Now there is a bit of a difference between these two serum primers in terms of finish. The Luminous does certainly have a lighter, dewier feel to it that sinks into the skin very, very easily. It's almost like a gel consistency that just goes right in. I find that this does help keep your makeup on longer throughout the day, just helps to smooth everything out and give you a nice natural finish. Now, while they do say that this one is suited for normal to dry skin, I do not find that this gives you a greasy, oily finish. I would recommend this one for those of you who have normal to combination skin. From my experience, just a really nice healthy finish that isn't dewy or greasy. And I think that the matte serum primer, on the other hand, would be also perfect for those with normal combination right through to oily skin. This does not give you an ultra matte finish. It doesn't take the life out of your skin. This is a little bit more matte than the Luminous, but I don't find overly so. This one is a little bit thicker, a little bit stickier than the Luminous Serum Primer, but still very nice. It does certainly still feel like it sinks into your skin, doesn't feel heavy, and both of them, from my experience, will help to smooth out the complexion and also help keep your foundation longer throughout the day. I recommend both of those products. They are absolutely lovely. And then the Happy Light range also does include a foundation and a concealer. I haven't found the right color match for me on the concealer, so we're not showing you that one today. But the Happy Light foundation, they say, gives you a luminous and flawless complexion in any light. They say it has translucent pigments that correct without masking, and that this is a light enhancer. They promise 8 hours of hydration, and I've got this one in the shade 53 Golden Beige. You can see that it looks like a nice finish. I have topped it with a number 53 Bourjois Healthy Balance powder, and it's quite nice. I think that the 52, a little bit lighter, would also be a good match, maybe a little bit less yellow, but I think that I'm quite happy with the 53 or the 52. So a silicone based foundation that doesn't feel heavy like a silicone. It really does go on very, very easily. As you'll see, doesn't take a lot of work to blend in, get a nice natural finish without streaking. Definitely doesn't cake when you layer it. I really enjoy this foundation. I will cut now to the application so that you can see how it looks going on, and then I'll be back at the end of the day to let you know how it wears. Okay, so I'm going to start by actually using both of the Bourjois serum primers. I'm going to grab a pump or two of the Luminous Skin Primer. I get a couple of pumps of that, and I'm going to pop that basically all over my face, smoothing it down. It's very light, it sinks in very easily, all over my face, everywhere except my nose, which is the area that is most prime to being oily. I'm going to apply one pump or even less of the Bourjois Happy Light Matte Serum Primer. This is what one pump looks like, and I'm just going to pop that between my fingers, rub my fingers together. I don't need as much for my nose, obviously, and just make sure that I use the matte serum primer all around my nose. Now, both of those formulations are very, very light. They feel like once you apply them, They really sink in and set very quickly. The Luminous does have a little bit more slip to it. It feels a little bit lighter on the skin and just really sinks in with a nice sort of feeling, just like I guess a moisturizer or any other serum. The matte does have a slightly thicker consistency, and it does sort of look a lot matte even when I rub it onto my hand. It's just a little bit thicker and it feels like it's setting just that little bit quicker, but both do feel light on the skin and set in very, very quickly. Now for the foundation, applying the Happy Light foundation, which is going to give me a luminous and flawless complexion in any light. It says it has translucent pigments and that it corrects without masking. It's a light enhancer that gives you 8 hours of hydration apparently. I've chosen this one in the shade 53. I have a feeling that the shade 52 may suit me a little bit better. I've popped 2 pumps here on my hand and I'm using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush just to pick up some of that and start applying in a stippling and buffing motion. It doesn't really matter with this foundation, I find. I like to sort of pop it on in short strokes and then I'll sort of do a stippling action just to give it a nice perfect finish. As it's going on, it really does seem like it's sort of sinking into the skin, making, you know, one harmonious layer rather than sitting on top of the skin. I really like that in a foundation. I don't like the feeling of something sitting on top, and this is certainly doing a good job of that. It is adding some coverage that I would describe as medium at this point. So this is what I look like now after using the Real Techniques brush with 2 pumps of that foundation. I think that my skin has a very sort of natural finish. It's not matte. Of course, I'm using it over the Luminous primer around my face area. I think that my nose does look a little bit more matte using the matte serum primer just on my nose. I think that my pores look reasonable. I have a light to medium coverage. Now, what I want to do is just pop another pump on my hand and just see if we can get a little bit more coverage over my freckles and pigmentations on this area of my face in a stippling motion this time. That's going to give you a little bit more coverage than that buffing motion or the strokes. And I would say that that second application has definitely improved the coverage to a better than medium coverage, I would say, over those areas that need a little bit more coverage. The finish is still very, very nice. I would say that adding a layer has certainly not made it any cakier. It does just feel like it sort of sinks into and makes one nice layer with the skin, as I say. So I do really like the finish at this point. I would say that the 52 is probably a closer match to me, but I can definitely make the 53 work. So I will be back after I've applied my makeup just to talk about how the foundation is sinking in, how it's looking in a little bit of time. Before I go, I will just mention the fragrance. This really doesn't have any fragrance at all. It doesn't seem like they've added any kind of perfumes to this product to make it smell nice. So that's good news for those of you who don't like fragrance in your makeup products. I'll be back in a little bit. How the foundation is looking now about half an hour on. I think it has definitely got a beautiful natural finish. Even over the Luminous serum primer, the foundation just has a really lovely natural finish that's not too dewy, greasy, oily looking. It's just a really nice natural healthy sheen coming through. My nose right now just looks very nice. It certainly doesn't look oily. It certainly doesn't look too matte. It looks like it matches the rest of my face. I am going to set it very lightly using some Bourjois Healthy Balance 10 Hours Matte Finish and Natural Healthy Glow powder. This one is in the shade 53. A little bit of that around the T-zone. I won't be applying it around the outside of my face, but just the T-zone, and that should help the makeup stay on throughout the day. Okay, so now that I've applied the Healthy Balance powder, I am so happy with the finish of this foundation. The powder has mattified the look of the luminous finish around my face, but my skin just looks beautiful. Everything is definitely smoothed out. My pores look minimized. The coverage of the foundation is medium, buildable, without caking up. So I do find that I can get the coverage that I need for my hyperpigmentation and freckles, but it has a really light finish. It doesn't take a lot to work with, and I just think that at application and up to an hour after application now, my skin just looks beautiful. I'm really looking forward to coming back at the end of the day to let you know how it wore. Okay, so here we are 8 hours after application. I have not repowdered my T-zone. I did actually pop on powder, bronzer and blush, so in a way I did sort of set these areas with some powder around my face, but without any touch touch up throughout the day. I'm so pleased with the way that this foundation is looking 8 hours on. I feel like my pores are still really nice and smooth. I feel like while it is a dew that doesn't look greasy or oily necessarily coming through around my forehead, around my nose if you can see it, and chin area, I just feel like my skin just looks naturally sort of luminous and healthy and hydrated. I like the way that it doesn't look mask-like and matte, even my nose doesn't. I just think that it's such a lovely, lovely foundation. I think that the serum primers are beautiful with it. I think that they all perform independently very nicely as well. So overall, at the end of 8 hours, 2 thumbs up for the way that the makeup is looking on my face without any touch-up. Really, really pleased. So that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, seeing the foundation going on as well as how it wears throughout the day. I honestly could not say enough about this foundation. I would definitely add this one into my list of favorites from the drugstore. I'll include prices down below as well as online sources if you're not in Australia and can't pick this up from Priceline or Target stores. I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know if you have tried anything from the Happy Light range and what you think of the foundation, as well as if you have any particular favorites from Bourjois. Always love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you again really soon. Bye.